My weight has always gone up and down, but since I've done it, my weight has been pretty stable. If you're here today, you have probably been struggling with your weight, or you might just like my storytelling skill. Hello, my name is Diane, and we are butterflies going through life dodging, empowering, and healing. If you've not done it yet, please like, comment, and subscribe. I had a VSL surgery done on March 2017, the 28th of March 2017. This has been a long time coming. I always knew that I wanted to share my stories. I never thought of myself as a candidate for weight loss surgery because first of all, I thought I wasn't big enough. I thought I couldn't qualify. I just never really researched it really as much as I should have been. My mother and I, we used to always watch videos about weight loss, and I remember those people were very large. It never really occurred to us that I can actually qualify. But one day, my mom got a publication out of a paper, and it was about weight loss and the requirements and stuff like that. And she brought it to me, to my attention, which was really a big deal. I was like, why not? I want to do this. This was like, I had been waiting for this forever. So I went on and I watched a bunch of videos. I Googled a lot of stuff. Of course, I was on YouTube all the time. Not only that, I was researching wherever I could, really. And I went on to find out what the requirements were with my insurance. So I didn't wait too long after I had spoken to my mom and everything. I had found out that I could qualify. I called my insurance and they gave me a list of what was required for my pre-authorization. I was also assigned a coordinator. I remember I needed to have at least 2 conditions, chronic or obesity related. I had sleep apnea because I got tested. I had that thyroid issue as well, and I was already pre-diabetic, so I was heading towards being diabetic. Being pre-diabetic was not going to qualify me, but I was already pre-diabetic, so I was going to be diabetic at some point, and that had to do, of course, with my weight. My chronic illness, I had always had it, but that would have been good still to have me qualify. Guys, make sure you check with your insurance because it might be different, and some of us, I know some people don't use their insurance, or they may not have insurance, or they may not qualify. So they go through other ways, like some doctors can give you the procedure. You can get the procedure with some doctors and the requirements are totally different than somebody that's going with insurance. Because I had a friend that wanted to get it done and she was paying out of pocket. And whatever was required from her was different from what was, of course, required from my insurance. With my insurance, if you didn't have those conditions, but you had a BMI of 40 or more, which is considered extreme obesity, you could qualify right away. For me, I had to have a BMI of 35 because I wasn't extremely obese. I wasn't considered extremely obese. I had to have a BMI of 35 to 39 with a couple of illnesses, with at least 2 serious illnesses or 2 chronic illnesses that could be considered weight related. With my insurance, it was pretty intense. I had to go through a lot of tests. Even for my sleep apnea, I had to go to a sleep center and I had to stay there for, I think I had to do it for like 3 days or maybe even more. I don't remember exactly. I had to go through a psychological evaluation and I had to go through a nutritional evaluation. I also had to be on a diet that was monitored for 3 months. That diet for me, I never really did good with that diet, but I don't recommend you not doing good because it's really important that you are used to having a really good diet prior to having the procedure. I actually ended up gaining weight while I was on that diet. I wasn't even really following the diet because in my mind, it's all about that mindset. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, for the rest of my life, I'm not going to be eating much. So why not just eat as much as I could right now? I forgot to mention that when I started the process, whatever was needed for me to get to the weight loss procedure, I was 240 pounds. I ended up putting on weight. So when I was having the procedure, I had put on 15 pounds. So when I began, before I got the procedure done, I was 240, and at the end of it, I had put on 15 pounds, okay? Because I was thinking, why not just eat whatever I want? Bad idea. I was thinking, let me just eat now. I know that for the rest of my life, I'm not going to be eating. I'm going to change my life and stuff, so I'm not going to be eating as much anymore. Let me just eat as much as I can now. And I ended up putting 15 pounds, guys. I gained 15 pounds while I was supposed to be monitoring. They were supposed to monitor how much I was eating, and I was really struggling with the diet. Thankfully, I had an amazing doctor, you guys. She was really great. She was really understanding. So she still did my procedure. She still performed the procedure on me, which is really a life-changing procedure. I actually picked a really good doctor. I can never forget her name. Her name was Dr. Tuesday Cook, and she was really truthful. She was really detailed as of what was needed for my procedure. My doctor had asked me what procedure I want. She said that she's going to help me pick the right procedure for me, but she's going to let me choose, and then she will let me know if it's right for me. And I went on and chose the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, and I'm going to tell you why I picked this specific procedure. I just knew that was what I needed to do. A sleeve gastrectomy is the removal of the left side of the stomach. This is usually performed as part of a weight loss surgery. I now feel fuller sooner because obviously my stomach is now smaller. It is the size of a banana, and it's called a sleeve because basically your stomach is left to look like literally a sleeve, but a very small sleeve. About 80% of my stomach was removed. 3/4 of my stomach was thrown away. This was just tossed away. This procedure is performed laparoscopically. A snake-like camera is inserted into your body. It's nothing that's really nasty, because I've talked to people and they are extremely scared, or at least they think, I'm gonna do this, and then they're like, no. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to convince anyone to have this procedure. No, like, losing weight can happen in many ways, and there are so many options out there too available. There's not only this specific option, which is the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, but I remember that the incisions were not that big, so it was nothing nasty. It's not that big incision that you get from the C-section, because I've had a C-section, which I'll talk about too. But yes, so it's not like a big incision to your stomach.
It doesn't look like, it doesn't even look like I had surgery at all. It looks really good. With my dark skin, it's even better because it's never gonna look like I've had surgery. So I think it's worth it. I wish I had done it earlier. It looks really good.
I guess a lot of the things that they perform now is done laparoscopically, because even my kidney was done the same way, where I just have very tiny incisions, and usually the scarring is not that terrible. I'm actually going to share what mine looked like. Of course, it was just sealed, and the recovery isn't that bad. And I guess even looking at your body not looking so bad is helping you in the recovery process as well, knowing that it's just not that much. Because I remember when I had my C-section, I just, by looking at my body, looking at all the blood and everything, it felt more like a traumatic event, so because of that, big incision was part of that, and the recovery was terrible, was awful. But with this procedure, it wasn't that bad. Like, I was smiling right after the procedure. I was excited right after the procedure. There was never a moment where I was feeling overwhelmed, but it's still considered a major procedure, so I had to be put to sleep. And when I woke up and I was in my room, I was excited, although I was tired, and they had to give me pain medicine because I was in pain.
I just had surgery. Everything went well. I was in so much pain. I've been wanting to document it. for you guys. Here's my stomach.
They went inside my body, so I was going to need time to recover, but I was already in a ready to go kind of state. And you know how it goes when you have a procedure. I was going to have to walk. I think I had to start walking. I think that very night, actually, I had to walk to go to the bathroom, just to tell you how it wasn't as bad as it may sound. You have those incisions, and very small, very tiny instruments are being inserted through it to, of course, cut 80% of your stomach. The recovery for me, it took a little while. I started to be active like a month later. I was asked to refrain from activities for like 3 weeks, and I couldn't, of course, lift anything heavy. But I remember I felt like I wanted to go on bike rides, and I feel tired. And this was like a month later. I needed at least 3 months to start feeling kind of okay. This is how I was experiencing. And again, it could be different for you. My procedure took about 2 hours, and I remained in the hospital for about 2 days. Typically, people stay for 3 days, depending of like if you have any complication, which I didn't experience. So I was at the hospital for only a couple of days, and I was ready to go home. The night before the procedure, I had to stop eating at around 10 o'clock. I had to make sure I wasn't dehydrated as well. For the first few days, I had to be on a clear liquid diet to help my stomach, of course, heal. I was allowed to have coffee too, like it had to be very, very light liquid. And after 2 weeks, I had to go see my doctor, and so to make sure I was okay, so I could go back to eating solid. Because like food could stretch it out because it's brand new, and a lot of horrible things can happen if you don't follow the liquid diet. So please, for whomever is getting it done, make sure you stay on your liquid diet. I ended up losing 115 pounds, which is a whole person, okay? A whole person. I was 140. After a year, I was 140 pounds, and I have actually been able to keep that weight off. After 4 years, I still feel fuller, quicker. This is also because the tissue that makes the hormone, the hunger hormone called ghrelin, is cut out and tossed out. I don't know if you can say that. I don't experience the same health-related issues as I did before. I hated the sleep apnea because I needed to use a sleep machine. I no longer have to. I'm no longer pre-diabetic, although the medicine I'm taking right now, a lot of the people, when they start taking it, they actually become diabetic for whichever reason. I need to research more on that, which I will do. But yes, I'm no longer pre-diabetic. For my thyroid, I was able to heal it later. It had really nothing to do with my weight loss, but then I no longer had that issue. But that was way later. And with a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, you will experience fast weight loss. I've noticed a huge change in my life because of that. My weight loss transformation is so crazy. I mean, I'm a totally different person. My dress size has changed. My eating habits have changed. My life in general has totally changed. I mean, I've experienced a lot of other things that really changed the way I see things, the way I'm experiencing life. But this weight loss really made a really big change. But while I've been asked if I regret having the procedure, no, it's not something that I regret, because here I really didn't think I could do it alone. I was where I didn't think I had tried many things, and I didn't think I could do it alone, and going through that yo-yoing was extremely frustrating. So it wasn't that I wasn't trying, I wasn't fighting to be healthy and happy and where I wanted to be. I mean, I don't ever feel like there's anything wrong with being big or bigger, but I definitely feel like you should be living the life that you deserve, the life that's your life. You should be feeling healthy, you should be feeling happy. So I'm constantly working on that part of my life, that healthy part, that happy part, which is necessary, which we should all be working on, I feel. My current diet mostly consists of juicing. I love juicing. I love my salad. I'm not too big on protein as I thought I should have been. I now understand that proteins are not that great for your kidneys, so I'm trying not to be too much into proteins. And my weight usually fluctuates from 140 to 145, and I've gone up to 150, but I'm never going higher than that. I'm often going back to my regular weight. So if I'm going on vacation, if I'm like traveling, doing things, or if I'm like, because I've had a couple of issues with my kidney, so if I've had like an infection, so my weight can be a little bit, depending on how my life is happening. My weight can change just a little bit. It's never anything major where I have to worry, because I always know I'm more confident, I'm happier, I know what I'm doing, I know my body, so I know how to get back to where I was. So it's basically when I'm maybe the upsurge of my medicine and I feel like I have to munch more, then I can go up a little bit, but not that much. So I'm still staying about in the same range, which is great after 4 years. So I feel like I'm a gastric sleeve success story. Yes, I am. Do I have any weight loss surgery regrets? I'm trying to go as deep as I can with this for the next person who wants to have this procedure and who needs to know more about it, because I remember I needed that kind of knowledge going in. So no, I don't have any regrets. There are a lot of changes I've gone through, not always the best. I've lost a lot of hair, which changes. I have felt like my face was gaunted, my neck was gaunted, and it has, of course, obviously changed. I've lost a lot of weight, so I noticed that my skin isn't as firm, but it's still firmer than expected. When you lose more than 100 pounds, I feel like it's a lot of weight where your body isn't maybe jiggly. I've always had a pretty firm body, and it's not let me down. Okay, it's not as firm as it used to be, but it's still pretty firm. I'm sure I've mentioned that I love swimming. I'm working my whole body out. By looking at my body, I don't think you'll be able to tell that I've lost over 100 pounds. So my body is still very firm. It's important to keep those healthy eating habits, which brings us back to why it's important to change your ways before getting the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Is so that down the line you know what to do, so that it's not so much of a struggle, so that you don't fight so much to make the right choices for you. You basically need to change the way you look at you view food, the way you think of food needs to change, and it's going to change. For a lot of people having this procedure, it changes. You're basically forced to change a lot of your ways. I remember I love eating ice cream. It was just like, I cannot live without ice cream, and I would try to be like, I can never live without ice cream. But now I don't ever feel that way. It's like, I don't need ice cream in my life. Why was I even so in love with ice cream? I was like in love with ice cream, guys. This is no longer how I feel. I don't feel in love with ice cream anymore. It was ridiculous, but it was real. It was real. I love that ice cream. Ice cream was my baby. So I no longer feel like I have to have ice cream all the time, which was like I got to that place where I needed to have ice cream every day. I was having ice cream absolutely every day. I don't feel like having ice cream every day anymore. There are so many support groups, so you don't feel alone while going through this. So you avoid relapsing into your old habits. There are so many groups that you can join, you can be part of, many ways to communicate with people that are going through the same process as you are. Yes, you probably will make new friends. It's like, why not? So I cannot tell you how much it cost me, because again, it could be different. Well, because I went to my insurance, I never had to pay a dime out of pocket. I never had to get in. I had a really good insurance, so I never ever had to get anything out of pocket. There are people that pay out of pocket, and I know it can be pretty expensive. It's not cheap. I didn't have any complication. Actually, I never experienced leaks because of stomach stapling. I've heard of it. I saw patients coming in with a lot of issues. Thankfully, I didn't experience any of them. I have experienced dumping syndrome. I've heard a lot about dumping syndrome. I've experienced it. It's really nasty, but you usually experience it from eating food that is very rich in starch, like very starchy food, and it's really, really uncomfortable. It's as if you ate and you're not digesting the food. It's like your body's saying, oh no, this is too much, I'm not going to be able to deal with that much, it's heavy, it's very rich, so it creates a lot of discomfort in your body. Weight loss surgery does not guarantee permanent weight loss, but changing your diet eating healthy, keeping that going does guarantee permanent weight loss. You have got to take care of yourself. You have got to take care of your health. From what I know, there's no such a thing as an easy way out. People always think that, oh yeah, it's so easy. She took the easy way out. Child, there isn't such a thing. And I had to learn it the hard way. There's always going to be a twist somewhere. There's always going to be something very intense. No, there's no. Sometimes you yourself going through things or doing things, you think, oh no, that's the easy way. I'm getting out so easily. No, I had to learn the hard way. There's no such a thing as an easy way out. The way you are seeing it from outside, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, this person took the easy way out. But whatever the person is going through inside, the inner fight, the inner war that the person is going through, the pain and everything, how intense, how extreme certain things that the person might be going through, the person that seemed to have gone through the easy way out might be going through, are things that you may not even ever want to experience, things that you are going to be, if you're told and if you understand, if you have a lot of compassion, you'll be like, no, this isn't something I'll ever want to experience. So there's no such a thing. There's no such a thing as an easy way out. Do never underestimate the power of the light within you. See you next time, guys.